Hello. Hey, hi, social media family. Sorry about the much earlier delay. You know, for some reason or another, I have become subjected to experiencing someone or such a one being of a nature, being of whom would be much more commonly called and are known as a computer hacker of some kind, sort, or type. Yes, I apologize for that. You know, minor, is that what I'm missing? No major. Minimum, is that what I'm saying? No maximum. You know, interruption. As I do suspect that to have become or be the case in a situation upon the conditions of a case of situation, as I suspect it to be, to have been the case upon the conditions of a situation of rather extenuating circumstances, is what I had meant to say. But then I had since rectified or resolved the issue, as you all notice or have witnessed, as I am now presently up and running. You know, yes, and I can't say when will be the next time that I will compose that being of a social media broadcast or video, as I myself, being that of my person, still have to move due to a misunderstanding between my person and the management of the building where I am presently at, after they themselves have continued to confuse me with the very same neighbor from damn hell nutcase, sicko, or whoever's taking his place, that has been attempting to harass, intimidate, persecute, or terrorize and traumatize my person for the longest. And although, regardless of how I had been or was informed that he himself supposedly had moved out of the building, whereas, if anything, this one real estate management personnel representative could have possibly or would have probably just told me that to keep me from going to court upon the likes of them, you know, as they had cutted corners to resolve this rather problematic dilemma of an issue of a social injustice, being of which I myself have become subject to experiencing. Whereas, if anything, if this one neighbor from hell, this particular one, has any homies, fellow neighbors, some of such residents or tenants in the building, then the real estate management personnel representatives could have possibly had thought from there to cut corners, and take the coward's way out to just get rid of me, being that of my person, as it would prove to become or be less cost effective, or less of a loss of money to them, loss of rent, less of a loss of rent money. They just get rid of one person. If this neighbor from damn hell has homies who are fellow neighbors in the building of some such other residents or tenants, whereas if they were to have gotten rid of him, then more than likely, more often than not, he would have suggested to his homies or fellow neighbors or other residents or tenants in the building to leave these premises or properties or this building public facility as well, whereas it would prove to become or be more of a loss of rent money to the real estate management corporation or company in question. So now I still have to move after I was confused with the very same neighbor from damn hell or whoever is now taking his place or replaced him to continue the daily and nightly routine of making the different sorts or types of extreme and excessive noises at some or such a given moment in time, especially for the nighttime hours more than during the daylight hours. And whereas the real estate management personnel representatives, they're not here when he or whoever is taking his place and how many are cutting up that much more. Before they would arrive upon the premises properties for this public facility to begin their day shift, I say to begin their day shift, and after they were to leave the same of the said in question of the former previous mentioned to go back to their own places of residences. Even before I had gone about finally getting things up and running so far as this present social media broadcast or video, whosoever is coming off like a neighbor from damn hell for the likes of one's kind has started up again, you know, okay? And unfortunately, I have fallen prey to responding in some or such other kind of way. Whereas, if anything, you see, whereas they would drag their butts, the real estate management personnel representatives, to investigate my complaints of stated grievances against the likes of, you know, proverbial neighbors from damn hell who continue to harass, intimidate, and persecute or terrorize and traumatize their fellow neighbors otherwise, and at the same time violate their own apartment rental agreement leases, you know. But the very minute this one particular proverbial neighbor from damn hell character for like this kind would think to put in a supposed so-called complaint against me, they would be at his beck and call, like say, or I say, snap, crack, one pop, or at the speed of light, or in the blink of an eye. Whereas, if anything, he himself could have, possibly would have, probably have had that all planned to begin with, or from the get go, according to his plans or program. Whereas the very minute I get to ranting and raving in the atmosphere for the principal properties of my own unit's atmosphere of apartment, whereas he would say, "Hey, this one neighbor, he's really mouthing off like a mad dog with rabies or something, foaming at the mouth, cussing and swearing, just sounding so ignorant and insane or stupid and crazy. You all need to go to the outside of his apartment door and listen in, as an eavesdropper, man. And much rather instead of them trying to analyze, evaluate, or investigate properly, they had cut corners and took the cow's way out and get to conclude that I myself, being that my person, in the very nutcase, crackpot or crank that the very neighbor from damn hell is, that has been not only attempting for the longest to drive me out of the house and home, but then likewise has been attempting to drive me completely bonkers for the longest, for as long as I can or could possibly remember or care to, being of which I really don't. So if they want to believe this dickhead prick character, excuse my apartment friends, then so be it, so let it be done. Ain't no skin off my teeth. Hopefully, though, the management for this present real estate, principal property of the public facility of a building hasn't put in a bad word against me with the new landlord elsewhere. I've been noticing, whereas at one time or another, paperwork documents were supposed to have been processed rather smoothly. That was up until the time that I had presented, some kind of ID for where I'm presently at. So that could have thrown a monkey wrench in the program, with if I had been thinking I should have given some other kind of place of residence as a location. And now that could have threw a monkey wrench in the works, as they say. And the funny thing is, when I had tried to relocate to somewhere for much better housing and in a neighborhood similar to this one where I'm presently at, of a multiracial neighborhood community for the Vicente area within city limits, the white landlords, they were, you know, like say, how you say, see, that's just his crazy ass or whoever's taking his place. See, they're not here, the management, real estate, personnel representatives. I mean, you all heard it. They're not here when he carries on that much more, whoever's taking his place. But anyway, though, getting back to something such as I think of it with that as my master to try to backtrack here where you were perfectly being. I was like going for to continue for when that my personality last left off so I can finish up as a complete form of previous prior line thought in the same. And whereas white landlords for much more, preferred housing developments of apartment complexes, choice real estate premises, properties, of public and private facilities for the many different neighborhood community vicinity areas, being of which are mainly or mostly multicultural, multiracial, and more prosperous, less crime ridden, were dragging their damn asses about seeing what I would want, so far as from sending me on a wild goose chase to, you know, research some such matter, investigate a possible lead, a possible and potential available apartment vacancy of a future place of residence of a unit's atmosphere apartment, whereas I could resume paying annual monthly rent, utilities, and home phone service fees to hold me hostage over a phone line. I'm pressing for time. I'm like saying, I don't have time for this. So I had to reconsider an alternative option, being of which is just move to or move back into a predominantly ethnic minority neighborhood community vicinity area, regardless of how it would be less prosperous or more poverty stricken and likewise more crime ridden. So that's what I had did, only to find out that here it is now. I can't even move to this new place of residence address location soon enough, as soon as I would have thought that things would have been in the works, for that predominantly ethnic minority neighborhood community for the vicinity area that would be more poverty stricken and or more crime ridden. Then because I suspect that this one landlord or any one of these management real estate personnel representatives may have put in a bad word against me with the new landlord. Oh, this guy, this fella's crazy. You don't want him. Confuse me with the neighbor from downhill. Yeah, he's insane. He's off his rocker. He's a lunatic. He's a maniac. He's a real wacko job, a real nutcase, a crackpot or cranker. You don't want him moving into your building. You know, I mean, we have literally actually stood outside his door and eavesdropped on him ranting and raving, cussing and swearing like a mad dog with rabies foaming at the mouth, cussing and swearing like a character, like say, or how you say, from a drunk towards he had a hype or whatever. No telling what kind of character he could possibly be of some sort or such a type. No, you wouldn't want him in your building. And as they could have gone about like they have some hostility, unfounded, unwarranted, unjustified hostility or hatred for my person. Like as if I have done something to them as well. Was all I had done, all I had done or did. Excuse me, pardon or forgive my person for having butchered the English language of the American dialect once again for seemingly something of a nature for the umpteenth time, but Anyway, though, and as I think of it with that, my mind's intentions to backtrack here regardless. So I can go on to following to continue from where and when I had last left off, so I can finish up at its completed form, purified, line, thought, and sensible. Yeah, as if I have done something to them, like they're getting mad because of many different times that I have called in, stated my grievances and complaints about this one neighbor from damn hell, idiot, sicko or psycho, which that's what I'm supposed to do. Go through all the proper policies and the procedures, the protocol. And if you got a problem with that, then that just goes to show or be like, saying how you're not really doing your job properly to resolve a problematic dilemma or issue that could make a building's atmosphere quite an unsavory, unfavorable, uncomfortable one for any resident or tenant. For how do you know whether or not this same resident or tenant could possibly cause problems for any of some of such other neighbors in the building for the likes of his kind, being a proverbial neighbors from damn hell characters who not only violate their apartment rental agreement leases, but then likewise disrespect, dishonor the rights and privileges of their fellow neighbors. Whereas this one real estate management personnel representatives telling me from there as I spoke to them in that line of thought, among other things, it come to mind and do regard in reference to these matters of a housing crisis dilemma, where I'm being given something similar to an eviction notice being of a non-renewal of apartment rental lease agreement, letter of correspondence, paperwork, document, and whereas this real estate management personnel representative is saying in more words or less, well, you just let us deal with that. And I'm like thinking, I had came back with a comeback. Well, if you were dealing with it in the first place, we wouldn't be having this problem to begin with, whereas you're confusing me with the very same nutcase, crackpot, or crank that has been attempting to not only drive me out of house and home, but likewise has been attempting to drive me completely bonkers in the first god diggity dog damn place, you know? Whereas now you have this assumed that I'm the very crackpot or crank that the neighbor from damn hell is, who has been attempting to drive me myself completely bonkers, as well as at a house and home. Then I just noticed in the footnotes I have had a misspelling of a word. Sorry about that at this rather late hour. As I said, proverbial, and I meant to say neighbor. Damn hell. That neighbor, not knit word. I misspelled it. Neitghbor. It's supposed to be proverbial neighbor from damn hellmouth character and whoever. How many is taken up from where he himself had last left off, in that being in the first place. And whereas if they themselves had taken care of these damn matters properly in the first damn place, then we would not be having this misunderstanding between me and the management of the building in the first place. Or what this one particular proverbial neighbor from damn hell, male character, or whoever, or how many is taken up from where he himself had last left off, and that being in the first place. Damn it. Yeah, so this is where I'm at. Whereas they had scheduled an appointment date for me myself that is unofficially, whereas I did not do not have to necessarily honor it because it's unofficial. The scheduled date appointment that they had set for me to vacate the premises of properties did not go through any probate court dealing with housing legal dilemma case issues between landlord and tenant. So until that were to become or be the case, they can't unofficially or illegally evict me and my personal effects or belongings, regardless of who they believe, You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I mean, see. As a matter of fact, speak cigar, you know. They cannot do so. But then if they want to go to court, then so be it. So let it be done. I got no qualms with that. If I could buy more time until I get to the other place of residence, the new place of residence, hopefully I would not have another neighbor from damn hell like this dickhead prick. Excuse my language, partner French. I know I'm destroying my good testimony in Christ's name. I mean, whereas if I had gotten here much earlier, I would have been cussing and swearing that much more. In due regard in reference to matters of the present housing crisis or dilemma. I would have been cussing and swearing like a mother lover and be using God's name in vain at that and have to really apologize that much more for doing that compared to how I would even so have to apologize for the cuss words otherwise be some of such uses of species of profanity or use of cuss words or other likes being of which are mentioned in God's word, the Bible, the basic instruction before leaving earth regarding make reference to salvation and deliverance in Christ our Lord and Savior, the Messiah deliverer or not, you know, and especially as I would have to apologize for using God's name in vain. But this is where I'm at. Whereas more than likely, more often than not only one of the likes of any of the real estate management personnel, any one of them at any given moment in time, but then any of the maintenance personnel could have possibly been eavesdropping outside my apartment door and listen to me rant and rave about something that one of the likes of these neighbors from damn hell could have concocted one's plans or in the first place. As some such further means to give me the business to the very end when I'm supposed to vacate these premises properties as one continues or whoever, how many, assuming that the likes have a legit personal vendetta grudge match with me. And I have never done a damn thing to anybody in this damn building, you know? And to think that to further exacerbate the case of situation, some of these here cocksuckers or characters be bothering with other neighbors' apartment doors. That's just how vindictive or obnoxious, stupid and crazy, not to mention creepy that certain ones of these neighbors are in the building. I have to put up with this crackpot for the longest. I think I've been here like 2 years. Two, maybe going on three. Same old F and BS. Come from the same jerk, loser, freaking idiot, effing idiot, sicko jerk, or whoever now is taking his place or replace them. I mean, if he did move out the building, if he had done just that, then either he has himself has crept back in, or one of his accomplices in crime, or the supposed so-called new tenant is taken up from where he himself had last left off. Because I'm still hearing the same ridiculously extreme and excessive noises of different sorts or types, on a daily and nightly basis. And that's only when he's not creeping, not just as much, but that much more. Making like from the midnight cowboy to the spook to sit by the door. And if I would ever catch this MF in my apartment, effing around where he don't belong, committing the act of a home invasion or that socially unacceptable and criminally illegal criminal trespassing, I would kick his ass, stump the damn hell out. I smash his ass. I smash his ass like a cockroach, or give him his money's worth, regardless of the outcome. As a means of, you know, getting my revenge for all the living damn hell he has put me through, especially for him having had me get something similar to walking papers of eviction notice, being of a non-renewal of apartment rental agreement, lease, letter, correspondence, document, paperwork that he himself should have received much rather instead of me. It's like I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't do the right thing. You know. Hey, That one neighbor, he's ranting and raving like a mad dog foaming at the mouth with rabies. You need to go to his apartment door, listen from the outside and hear him. You gotta, like he had all that planned. Oh no, this would never do. Oh, this guy, this fella's a nutcase. You hear that? Fellow real estate management representative personnel. Oh no, he gotta go. He gotta go. Oh no, not no more. He's gotta go out of here. And I'm not the cause of the problem. So more than likely, more often than not, that is what happened. So I have been misclassified or miscategorized as a really brutal wacko job or nutcase or crackpot or crank that the very same neighbor from damn hell is who has been attempting to cause me to go completely bonkers as well as being attempting to cause me to be kicked to the curb. Well, he has managed to do one successfully, it's not the other. I'd be damned if I let him drive me completely bonkers, as well as he has managed to successfully convince the management of the building to kick me to the curb, where they're saying, no, no way. It's not a chance in hell that we're going to renew your apartment rental agreement lease. There's not a chance in hell. And regardless of whatever building address, location, otherwise, for real estate premises properties that you could seek to become a tenant thereof, if it's up under our real estate management corporation or a business company, you can't successfully go about establishing rapport to fill out and sign an apartment rental agreement lease with any other real estate personnel representative either that's up under the authority of our own particular real estate management corporation or business company. That's what I was informed. Because if you have had problem with one of our real estate management representative personnel for any real estate premises or properties or a public or private facility that is up under our authority or up under the authorization of our own particular real estate management corporation or business company, then that would mean you would have a problem with any other real estate management personnel representative until you could get matters cleared with the present real estate management personnel representative that you have a discrepancy with, and there's no chance in hell that one will look favorably upon you. The lice has, assumed that I'm the very neighbor from damn hell, being of whom I have gone through all the proper policies and procedures and protocol to state my grievances and complaints against. I mean, talk about to add insult to injury, you know. And believe me, I was ranting and raving in my apartment about this dickhead prick. I must admit, I was ranting and raving because I'm pissed. I'm going through all the proper policies and procedures and protocol. Trying to take care of business, not trying to bring it to their attention to the management real estate personnel representative as well as to the attention of the police. Whereas I have called them a number of times on this dickhead prick as well as them. And here it is. I'm being given walking papers that I should not have received in the first damn place. Ain't that a bitch? You know what I'm saying? Excuse my partner friend. Yeah, ain't that a bitch? There's something else I was about to say if I can remember. What the hell? I guess it wasn't. Yeah, I'm being given some as such. Yeah, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't do the right thing. oh, this guy, this fella, he's off his rocker. He's completely, man. He's on the dark side of the moon. He's way out there in another orbit on another planet. Really now. Now I gotta move. Oh no, 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 no. Well, let us deal with any. If you had been dealing with some stuff, we wouldn't be at this point in our conversation, whereas you still confusing me with the dickhead prick neighbor from hell character, whoever's taking this place. So I gotta move. You know, I gotta move. I still gotta move. You know, my personal facts, belongings, possessions, as well as I myself. I can secure this other place of residence in due time. Hopefully, they haven't put in a bad word against me with some of such other. Well, I noticed that things started to slow up. One thing, and where before it was going rather fast, and it started to slow up the process that is. And I'm like, what? I'm saying, are you freaking kidding me? Oh, I think I remember what I was about to say. And whereas, well, this is one of, it's not some say, oh yeah. And whereas for many times that I had committed myself to put in complaints and stated grievances with the management against this character, as well as with the police, and yet, if if the neighbors on this cocksucker's floor is not hearing all that noise, all those noises that one would make, then they would have to either be completely deaf, or they would have to be accomplices in crime of his, you know. And for all the times that I have, you know, discussed matters with the police or reported this cocksucker, this character to the police, yet there was not one police call placed against my person. So that should tell you right there, somebody's lying and it's not me. You know, police have it on record about this dickhead prick, as well as they would have it on record about him. But they looking at it from this point of view, you know. Well, cause more often than not, there was eavesdropping outside my apartment door, hitting me ranting and rave after I was provoked with all this negativity coming from this demon possessed cocksucker, this faggoty bitch ass, some bitch ass. He has to be faggoty enough, if not a little actual closet faggot cocksucker. He could possibly be likewise a gay pedophile Catholic priest wannabe. You know, anytime a male focuses so much of his attention upon another male of the same sex, has to be at least kind of homo or faggoty, if not a little actual cocksucker of homo or closet faggot. Bitch ass, I'm a bitch. So I'm having to move nevertheless, cause the management of the building, they have confused me with this crack pot of crank. They think of me as a nutcase, of the likes of the very same nutcase that has been to drive me completely bonkers for the longest, as well as one has been to drive me out of the house and home for long. There was one time or another, the same character had literally actually knocked on my apartment door after I called the police on his ass and after discussed matters with me about him. Whereas I'm thinking it's the police wanting to ask me more questions about this MF, this creepy, stupid, and crazy SOB bastard. And it turns out to be him. And whereas he himself is saying in more words or less, I would appreciate if you had discussed matters with me in the first place before you had called the police. I'm like, motherfucker, get the fucking damn hell away from my door with that shit. I mean, get your creepy, stupid, and crazy mother MFing ass to put it mildly. I'm sorry about the alternative cuss words, which be well, whatever. I'm like, man, if you were sane enough, I could discuss matters with you. Whereas we wouldn't have come to terms like that. I wouldn't have had to call the police on you in the first damn place. Not to mention a number of times as well. I wouldn't have had to call the management on you to begin with. Well, a number of times. I'm like, you got some damn nerve, the audacity. Imagine that crackpot or crank acting like he is qualified. As if he has the rights and privileges to engage in meaningful, constructive, productive, sane conversation and dialogue. Whereas if that were the case, I wouldn't have had to call the management upon him so many times. I'm like, you done lost your rabid ass mind. If you don't get your creepy, stupid, and crazy ass away from my apartment door, you better before I call the damn police on your ass again. Guess he was hoping that I would open up my apartment door so he himself with some homies of his could possibly attempt to jack me on foot right outside my apartment door. You know, drag me out my apartment door and then claim that I rushed at them, you know, before they would have effed me up. I'm like, man, get away from my apartment door. That crazy shit. Act like you qualified. With the crazy FBS to rephrase that, act like you qualified to engage in a sane conversation, a dialogue with me when you don't. She's a crazy MF. You're a creepy, stupid, and crazy MF. And here it is, the management of the building that's confused me with this cocksucker. Well, let them. To damn hell with them as well as to damn hell with them. If they want to go there and confuse me, you see. Because they only think about the money. And he or whoever taking this place gonna be some such further problems for other neighbors in the damn building. In due time. Payback is a monster. It's called karma. You know what I'm saying? It's called karma. They just thinking about cutting corners and all. Thinking about moolah money. You know, we'll take the cheap way out. Just get rid of this one neighbor. Namely me. Anyway, though, yeah, then get rid of the real problem. Anyway, though, I'm about to close out, you all. I just thought to share that with you all. So I may have to go to court against these cocksuckers in their own right, being the management representative of these real estate premises properties, the real estate management representative. I may have to go to court against them. Let's everything be squared away finally with the new place of residence. Where I say, fuck them all, damn their asses. To hell with this fucking shithole or hellhole that this neighbor from damn hell make it out to become or be for me. As it's been going about for along with all this crazy FBS rephrase that now. But then as you all know, my social media family of subscribers as well as any visitors to my own personal channel and likewise chat room comment section that just as I will give you all the basic introduction, you know, I would likewise speak upon a subject matter, you know, or topic of discussion to be debated, you know, or conversation, or dialogue, controversy or not, or regardless of many different views and opinions to be affiliated, associated with, representing thereof. And regardless of whether I would speak upon one or a couple, few, or four more for that matter, depending on how I would be feeling like at some such a given moment in time. But then, last but not least, yeah, after I would give the basic introduction and the footnotes, I would speak upon something of a nature. I would speak upon one or a couple, few, or four more for that matter. Topics of discussion to be debated, subject matters with the many different views and opinions thereof, be affiliated, associated with, and representing. But then, last but not least, I will give the conclusion of the matter by saying, I have to force myself to say it don't come naturally for me. Say just that. That is, if you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I will hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in vein, so you will be able to go to heaven. Don't have to worry about experiencing hell and afterlife. Where it's just more than enough hell in this one. Peace.